Yeah. So at here, I'm selecting some random vendor. Okay. And at here, I have given the amount in debit 500. Okay. Now, instead of selecting the offset account type, offset account, what I will do, I will go to the method of payment. Okay. In method of payment, okay. In method of payment, we have created Gcash. Okay. So if you scroll over here, you will find Gcash as method of payment. Okay. So once you select the Gcash, so what it will do, it will populate your offset account type and offset account. Okay. Now you can see when I selected the offset account as Gcash, I mean method of payment as Gcash, you can see this 566666. It's coming from where? What are the main account which we have mapped in the method of payment? That particular offset account is populating in my offset column. Okay. Now I can post the transaction to complete the payment. Okay. So this is the cash method of payment. Okay. Let's imagine now I want to create the check payment. So to create the check payment, we have another prerequisite. One is the payment method. Another payment requisite is you need to set up the check in cash and bank management. Okay, so this is the different module. So I'm showing that also in this particular session. Okay, let it post this particular journal. Meanwhile, let me go back to the another tab. Okay, so at here, let me navigate to the cash and bank management. Okay, so at here I'm going to cash and bank management, bank account, bank account. Okay, so at here you can see we have different bank accounts over here. Okay, so at here let me select the uh okay, let's select MB bank account itself. Okay, to configure the check, so what we will do, first we will navigate to the cash and bank management, bank account, bank accounts. Okay, then this particular form will be open. So in this particular form, we will select that respective bank account. Like for example, I'm selecting the MB bank. So I will select that respective bank account, or you can open this particular bank account. Okay. So after opening this particular bank account or selecting that particular bank account, you can see we have a setup on top. So we will click on setup. Okay, and we have at here three different layouts, I mean three different action heads. One is the negotiable instrument, another one is layout, third one is method of payments. Okay, so at here what we will do under layout, we will have check. So we will click on check. Okay, so at here we have two different methods in check. One is free, another one is fixed. So what is difference between free and fixed? So in fixed check method, so what will happen? The check number is already defined in the check number. Okay, so it will be a continuous again. So by default, the check number will be picked it. Okay. I mean, we need to define the checks numbers, how many checks are available. So we need to define that one. So if it is a free check, then what we need to do, so whenever you are publishing the check, okay, so it will ask to enter the check number. Okay, so we will see both the scenario. Let's select the free has check type, check method. Okay, Then you will click on generic export, electronic export file. Yes. So at here you need to export format configuration. So you need to configure the export format. So currently it is nothing is there, as I need to import from the repository. Okay. So at here this check is there, right? So this I will synchronize it. I will show you how we can map the export format. Okay. So at here, once this is selected, so by default we have uh, these are the standard check formats. Okay. So if you want to define the check formats according to the respective country region, so we need to customize that particular check format. Okay. So in India, we are using the check leaves. Okay. It will be a the this length will be around uh, 15 centimeter, and breadth will be around 8 centimeter, right? But if you see in other countries, they are utilizing A4 size checks, okay, and they are using the letter size checks. In other countries, in some countries, they are using the small check leaves as similar to your check leaves. Okay, so at here, so for those kind of check leaf alignment, we need to do the customization. So at here, currently I'm selected the US check format. This is the standard. Okay. So other than that, we need to define the layout. So in layout, I will define the paper length. Okay. Either in centimeter or millimeter. The paper length, like let's imagine it's 11.69. Okay, so I'm giving just equivalent to the letter size. Okay, so when I say 11.69, the paper length, and based on that, my check will be started. Okay, so at here you can see check starting position. Like for example, if the check starting position is after 6, so it means that from 11.69 centimeter or millimeter, in that after 6 millimeter the check actual position information will be started, so I need to print over there. So that it means that check starting position. Okay, and once you have defined the paper length, okay, under setup you can specify the bank account number to be printed it on it, name, even company name, company logo, okay, bank account number. So these are the information if you want you can print on it. So by enabling this toggle button, okay, and signature you can keep it by electronic, or you can go with the manual signing procedure. Okay, so once this is the main configuration of the check. So after that, you will click on print test to review it. Okay. So if you want to review the format, so you will click on print test, and we have two different check format layout over here. One is negotiable check format and non-negotiable check format. You will check both of them and you will click on OK. So in both of them, it will be displayed. So currently, you can see the printable paper length must be at least 100.23 millimeter. So let me change. to 100.24. Okay, so when you run a dummy check, so it will be displayed in this way. Okay, so this is the dummy check when you print from the bank. Now, the check layout has been defined as free, so we will see after that fixed also. So once this is done, so in our method of payment, accounts payable, setup, payment, method of payment. Okay, so at here now I am creating a new payment method called G check. So for that I will click on new. I will define the method of payment as G check. Okay, check payment method. Okay, so at here I will keep the status as sent. Okay, and at here the payment type I will make it as check. Okay, so after updating the sent and check, I will define the posting type. The instead of account type is ledger, I will change to bank, and I will select the respective bank account. That is M004, right? Sorry, 4044. Okay. So after updating this particular information, so if I scroll down, so I have the payment control. Sorry, file format. So in file format, we will generic electronic export. Okay. Export format configuration. So at here inside that you will find, sorry, sorry, this generic electronic export format. So we have another tool called electronic reporting. Okay, so this is one of the new add-on reporting purpose. So we are utilizing the electronic reporting where you can inbuilt your QRC code and the additional barcode for scan. After scanning it, you can get the complete detail of the information. Okay, so this electronic reporting is newly added inside the Dynamics, and it can be easily integrated with any third-party electronic reporting tool. Currently, we are utilizing in the Saudi regions more. Okay, so they need to submit on a day-to-day basis. So how many purchase order invoices has been posted and how many sales order invoice has been posted to track their exact net profit. Okay, so based on that, yeah, their income tax and corporate tax will be calculated. Okay, so this rule is not yet implemented in other GCC region, but very soon it may be recorded. So this electronic report in other countries mostly we are based on that we are preparing the advanced rule templates, we are designing it. Okay. Okay, so at here in export format, so export format, what I will do, let me right button. Okay, there is no view details. Uh, okay, so at present I have selected format test. So at here you can select the check. Let me show you the export format. Okay, let it be. So at here I have selected the format one test. Okay. Other than that, if you go to the payment control, in payment control, you can define what are the necessary field to be mandatory. Like for example, now you can see over here, so you can see over here, we have different payment fields are mandatory. Okay. Like for example, we have bank transaction type should is mandatory. Okay. Offset account has type is bank. Check number is mandatory. Payment specification is mandatory. Payment ID is mandatory. Payment note is mandatory. Payment reference is mandatory. Okay, so these are the some payment control. So without these information for this respective transaction, you cannot proceed further. Like for example, at here I am updating the payment reference and the check number. Check number is mandatory and payment reference is mandatory. So after enabling these two payment specification, I have saved this particular record. Now, when I'm making the check payment method based on this particular payment method, so for that I will go back to the vendor payment journal. So at here I will click on new, and at here I will select the journal name AP in AP payment lines. So at here let me select the vendor. Okay. So at here I'm giving the amount in debit has 50. Okay. And when I scroll down at here, instead of selecting the offset account, what I will do, I will go to the method of payment and I will select the G check. So once I select the G check, so what it will do, it will update the bank information. I mean the offset account is bank and the bank account number. Okay, so at here you can see the method of payment is G check, and based on that the bank offset bank account and bank this has been updated. So we need to generate the check now. So far we have created the payment journal. Now we are generating the check. To create to generate the check, so what we need to do, we need to click on generate payment. To click on generate payment, for that you need to navigate on top. You can see this particular payment journal. On top you can see the generate payment. So once you click on generate payment, so system what it will do, it will appear a form in front of you. Okay, where you need to select the payment method as gcheck. Okay, and at here you need to select that respective bank account, that is what we have selected 404. Okay, so after that you will click on OK. So once you have clicked on OK, so what you will do, system will ask you to update the check number. Gautam, your demo instance is ready. Gautam. Gautam, 1 minute, I will show you. Uh, Let me show you live. One minute, I'm showing you. Okay, so let me show you some live how the checks will work. Okay, how we can generate it. Okay, so first let me go to the accounts payable. Okay, met payment setup, method of payment. So already we have defined the check and the at here what I am doing, I am selecting the bank as offset account as bank, and I'm selecting the payment account as okay. So at here you can see in method of payment per check, I have defined the account type and payment method. Okay, so once I have defined the payment account, so if I scroll down under the payment control, I have enabled the payment reference and the check number is mandatory. So once these two information has been updated, so at here the payment status should be sent and I have saved the record. So now when I'm utilizing this particular method of payment in the vendor payment journal, you can see how we can generate the check. So let's see that. So for that, what I am doing, I am going to the uh, payments, vendor payment journal. So at here I am creating new and at here I am selecting the vendor payment. Okay, 1 minute. So at here, see, when I have opened this particular drop down, I'm not able to view any of these journal. Okay, so this is the journal. Why we are not able to view it? It is because of one particular form. Let me show you. So these are all our journals. So in these all our journals, you can see there is a private user group. So when I'm up explaining this particular journal name creation, you can see this private user group is for blocking off the journals to view only to that respective user to whom you want to view it. Okay. So currently I'm creating new VPay. VPay at here the payment method should be vendor disbursement. So this is our payment journal is ready. Now let utilize this particular payment journal. So at here I'm select, let me refresh the page. Yeah. So when I add a new payment journal, so at here I can select VPay. Still it's not. You can see that was the reason the tax transportation tax because of that it's not showing to me. So I have selected the vendor disbursement again. Now let's go back to the vendor payment journal, new. Now you can see at here we pay which we have created. So lines. So at here I'm selecting some random record, like for example, some random vendor I have selected it and I have given the amount as 500 and at here I am selecting my offset account as check. So once I have selected the check payment check over here, my offset account type and offset account is populated. So at here, what I will do, I will click on generate payment. So once I click on generate payment, it will ask me to select the method of payment as check and you will select the respective bank. Okay. So once you have selected the respective bank, you will click on OK. And now you can see this check number is auto populating. So from where it's auto populating, if you define the check number as fixed, then this number will be auto populated based on the check leaf is available on your system. Okay. So if it is free, then this particular from number will be editable. Initially it will be zero and you can modify according to that. That is free. This is only the difference between these two. Okay. Now at here under document, let me make it as screen. Okay. So after defining the check number, you will click on OK. So once you click on OK, so system what it will do if the printer is connected with your system or printer is within your network, then the check will be printed in your uh, check will be printed directly. Now at here I have selected on screen, so I have clicked on OK. So now a file will be downloaded, a check generate whatever the check I have generated, the check will be downloaded over here. Now you can see the process of operation the print check is on it's in processing. Now you can see a check file has been downloaded. Okay, so this is the payment advice report. So payment advice report is nothing but so this is the payment what you have done against which particular invoice. So those information will be populated under the payment advice report. Okay. Now let's see this particular check format which we have downloaded it. I mean which has been downloaded. For that, you will go to the, let me go to download, check US check format. So now you can see this is the letter size check format. You can see this is nothing but 130000. This is nothing but the voucher number. This is the vendor name. Okay. This is the date. Okay. So if you scroll down, this is the vendor name and amount in words, check date, and this is the amount. Okay. So this is one way of printing the check. Okay. The main difference in I mean, when you are generating, if you want to regenerate this particular check, so what you will do, so you have the payment status over here. For at here, you will go back to the reject to cancel the check. For that, you will click on yes. Then this check will be cancelled, and you will change the status to none. Now this check, you can regenerate the check for this particular transaction. For that, again, you will go to the generate payment. Method of payment and bank account, by default it will be selected. For first time you need to map. Okay. You will click on OK. By default the check number will be populated automatically even if it is free, as once you have updated. So based on the next continuous number sequence it will be picked. So in case if you want to modify the check number, you can modify it. Okay. If it is free, if it is a fix, you cannot modify it. Either you need to cancel it. Okay. So at here I will click on OK. So once I clicked on OK, the check will be generated. You can see a file has been ordered. Let me open. So this is the check which is generated. Okay. So any doubt on this particular check generation? No, Gautam. Okay. Now you can see if I scroll towards my right, okay, I have check number which is mandatory, which is updated. Okay. So I have mapped another column called payment reference. You can see the payment reference under the bank. You can see the payment reference which is also mapped. It means that my mandatory requirement, whatever I have enabled in the payment control, so those has been done. So it means that I can post the transaction without any issue. So if I click on post, the transaction will be posted. You can see the transaction has been posted. So similarly, we have another check method that is nothing but the PDC check. So PDC check is nothing but you will give the future date check in advance and it will be deposited later to the bank. So for that also we have some small configuration. So we will see before that one more payment method called electronic payment. So electronic payment is nothing but either it may be a wire transfer, bank to bank transfer, or RTGS or NIFT or IMPS transactions or UPI transactions. Okay, these all are nothing but electronic transfer. Okay, the payment type will be electronic transfer. So for this, what you will do, you will create a new payment method under the method of payment. Okay, like for example, at here I'm creating the EL transfer. Okay, so at here the payment type will be electronic payment. The electronic payment either may be a bank to bank transfer or RTGS, IMPS, UPI payment, etc. Okay, will be considered as electronic payment. Okay, and you will specify the offset account, that is bank, and you will select the respective account, offset account, what it should be. Like for example, FGB daily. Okay. So after updating this information, so what you will do, you will scroll down and for this, what should be mandatory? Like for example, payment reference should be by default, it should be updated. If the payment reference is not updated, it will not allow you to post. Okay. So once you save this particular record and once you create any transaction, like for example, if I'm creating the vendor payment journal, clicking on new, okay, vendor when pay lines. Okay, so at here, let me select some random vendor. Okay, so let me update the amount. Okay, so once I select the method of payment has EL transfer, you can see now this information has been updated. So if I try to post this particular transaction, this electronic any payment transaction, so what it will do, it will by default give me an error stating that the payment reference is not specified this particular voucher. Okay, so in that case, what I need to do, I need to specify the payment reference number. So where I need to specify the payment reference number, you need to go to the bank tab over here, and at here you can see the payment reference column will be applied over here. So in this particular column, you will specify the payment reference number. Like for example, I'm specifying some payment reference number, random payment reference number. Okay, so once you have updated this particular payment reference number, you can post this particular transaction. Now you can see the operation has been completed. It means the transaction has been posted. So far, we have seen the cash, check, and electronic transfer. So do you have any query on this particular payment transaction? Okay, so let's see the PDC. PDC is nothing but the post data check. Like for example, uh, you are giving some future date check uh, in advance to the landlord or any of the vendor, that you can use this check for deposit of for making of the payment of my existing invoice amount. Okay.